AITA for leaving my fiance because my body count does not align with his traditional values? So let me get right into the story. I got engaged to my ex in late June of 2023. We met earlier that year and I thought that he was everything I've ever wanted in a man. Living in the big city alone and working my off while going to uni, I have met a few guys who I've messed around with. To be exact, since my first time I have slept with 5 more guys. When we first met he was the most amazing and loving guy I have ever met. We have talked through our relationships before each other and he didn't seem to mind that much. I have to say that he is a really traditional Christian guy who lives on a farm, and I liked that about him, the peaceful life he was living. We talked about everything, kids, marriage etc. but after we have got engaged he started acting differently. His best friend and soon-to-be best man tried hooking up with me before I met my boyfriend. So I guess out of jealousy he started filling my boyfriend's head with all kinds of things about my body count. For example, man, she has slept with one of the boys I know and he only sleeps with hoes, but she is a nice girl. I'd what to think about her. And yes, I met a guy in 2022 who was exactly my type physically, and we hooked up, never seen or heard from him after that. After a few months later, my boyfriend started acting like he was entitled to my body. Even if I wasn't ready or feeling like I wanted to be intimate he would bring out how I slept with bunch of guys before him. Then he told me that he only slept with one girl before me. So we have had a lot of fights about that, but I wanted to let that go and work on our relationship and marriage that was about to start. We talked and whenever I did something that was not how he wanted it, he would bring up my body count. I got sick of that really, but the fights only started getting worse. He used to tell me that I would not be fit to be the mother of his children, but in other moments he would dream about that and fantasize our life. His excuse for saying and insulting me was that his moral and religious beliefs don't align with my past life and that sometimes he breaks out because of that. I tried to understand that, tried to work on my relationship with him and even pleaded for forgiveness. But when I moved in with him and we had a fight about my body count again and again, the least drop was his mother joining the argument. In exact words she said, "If you were some mafia tattooed guy she would be more respectful of you. The next girl you bring home will first go through your sisters and my own hands." Meaning they would test her if she is a proper wife. That was when I've had enough of that bull. I called my mom and stepdad to pick me up and they drove for 4 hours to get me home. Him and his mom apologized to me, begged me to come back. But after some of the talks with my mom I realized that things were never going to change, even though I loved that guy and was willing to do everything to make the relationship work. After a month he reached out to me trying to mend our relationship, saying that if I really loved him I would come back and he promised to never speak of my previous relationships ever again. Well, you know from the title that I didn't go back to him, but AITA for leaving him?